Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. I appreciate you coming on my channel. And we're just going to keep it moving, guys, with the Unforgotten Music Legends series. I've been having so much fun with this, guys. I've been learning so much about some of my favorite artists, stuff I didn't even know. So, the response has been pretty positive. So thank you guys for watching the videos. And we're going to keep it going with number 4. This guy is a lot of people's favorite artist of all time. I mean, he can play almost every instrument made by man. He can sing, he dances, he can act, he writes songs for other people. The style that he had was like no other when he came out. He had such a crazy way of dressing. He was very controversial with the things that he did, the way that he dressed. And unfortunately, there's a lot of mystery around his passing, what really happened. But this guy is one of the most influential music legends that we have in our society. And who else could I be talking about? Well, that man. Oh, and by the way, he makes great pancakes, really delicious pancakes. And he likes to play basketball in high heels with Charlie Murphy. Guys, I'm talking about Prince, or Prince Nelson Jr. Prince's early music career saw the release of Prince, Dirty Mind, and Controversy, which drew attention for their fusion of religious and sexual themes. He then released the popular albums 1999 and Purple Rain, cementing his superstar status with #1 hits like When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy. A 7-time Grammy winner, Prince had prodigious output that included later albums like Diamonds and Pearls, The Gold Experience, and Musicology. He died on April 21st, 2016 from an accidental drug overdose. Famed singer, songwriter, and musical innovator Prince was born Prince Rogers Nelson on June 7, 1958 in Minneapolis, Minnesota. His parents were John Nelson, a musician whose stage name was Prince Rogers, and Maddie Shaw, a jazz singer who performed with the Prince Rogers Band. Prince became interested in music at a young age and taught himself how to play the piano, guitar, and drums. His parents broke up when he was about 10, when his father famously quoted, "Never get married." And he and his sister split their time between their parents' homes. He eventually ran away and moved in with neighbors, the Anderson family. In high school, Prince formed the band Grand Central, later known as Champagne, with Andre Anderson, who later changed his name to Andre Simone and Morris Day. In 1978, Prince was signed to Warner Brothers Records. In a 2009 interview with Tavis Smiley, Prince revealed that when he was a child, he suffered from epileptic seizures and that he was teased in school. He told Smiley, "Early in my career, I tried to compensate by being as flashy and as noisy as I could." With his band The Revolution, Prince went on to create the classic album Purple Rain in 1984, co-starring Apollonia Cotero and Morris Day. The movie garnered an Academy Award for the Best Original Song Score. Its melancholy title track reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100, while the hits When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy both reached #1. While Crazy readily joined the pantheon of wild, electrifying rock songs, Doves Cry had one-of-a-kind signatures, displaying an otherworldly meld of electronic and funk elements without a traditional chorus. The soundtrack offered 2 other hits, I Would Die For You and Take Me With You. Prince simultaneously became a well-known visual icon with his trademark curls, flowing jackets, and ruffled attire with punk embellishments. Darling Nikki was another tune from Purple Rain that incited controversy due to its explicit visuals. After Senator Al Gore's wife Tipper Gore bought the album for their daughter and listened to the track, she eventually pushed for albums to sport labels that warned parents of graphic lyrics. And y'all thought NWA did that first. 1985 saw the release of Around the World in a Day, which had the top 10 tracks, Raspberry Beret, a whimsical mid-tempo tune, and Pop Life. The record continued to feature Prince's penchant for playing a range of instruments and desire to impart messages of self-love as seen with Paisley Park, a track inspired by the name of his Minneapolis studios. The singer found international success with the release of his 1982 album, 1999, which included the top 20 title track, an exquisite synth-funk ode about nuclear doomsday, as well as the top 10 hits Little Red Corvette and Delirious. After the disbanding of the Revolution, Prince was able to consolidate various shelved projects into what ultimately became the double album Sign o' the Times, 1987, with the title track reaching number 3 on the pop charts and number 1 in R&B. The album was known for its stark commentary on social issues, yet also contained fun jams like You Got the Look, a raucous duet with Scottish singer Sheena Easton that reached number 2 on the pop charts. He had previously penned the lavishly charged pop R&B hit Sugar Walls from her 1984 album A Private Heaven. Sign was easily among Prince's most critically acclaimed albums, yet its sales lagged in the US, finding more of an audience in Europe, where the artist launched a successful tour. Maintaining a prodigious output, Prince released Lovesexy in 1988, known for its album cover featuring a photo of the artist in the nude, as well as the top 5 untempo R&B hit Alphabet Street. By the time he released his 11th studio album, the soundtrack to Batman, in 1989, Prince had become one of America's most commercial, successful pop artists, continually making waves on the charts. Batman offered up the number 1 romp, Bat Dance, famously featured Prince in a split effect makeup and costuming meant to symbolize both the film's shadowy hero and his crazed nemesis, the Joker. The early 1990s marked the launch of New Power Generation, Prince's latest band, that featured a blend of contemporary R&B, hip-hop, jazz, and soul, along with the vocals of Rosie Gaines. The group was first called out in the soundtrack to Graffiti Bridge, a 1990 sequel to Purple Rain that didn't fare well at the box office, yet still yielded the top 10 track Thieves in the Temple. With the New Power Generation's artistic contribution, Prince found success with his album Diamonds and Pearls in 1991, which rose to number 3 on the Billboard 200 album chart. Diamonds included the romantic title ballad, the industrial strength Get Off, the playful Insatiable, and the saucy number 1 single Cream. Prince's work with the New Power Generation continued to unshamefully toy with ideas around sexuality, gender norms, and the body. To promote the album, Prince had appeared on the 1991 MTV Video Music Awards to do a live performance of Get Off. Echoing parts of the track's music video, the performance featured an array of dancers and musicians in an onstage bacchanal, with the artist famously turning around towards the end of the song to show off his seatless pants. In the fall of 1992, Prince had signed a record $100 million deal with Warner Brothers, which was considered the largest recording and music publishing contract in history at the time, and allowing him the freedom to pursue TV, film, book, and merchandising deals separately. As a comparison, fellow industry giants Michael Jackson and Madonna had 60 million plus contracts that were all inclusive. Provocative performances aside, Prince had well established himself as an in-demand collaborator and behind-the-scenes player whose songs were remade by other artists. In the mid-1980s, Shaka Khan released an ebullient, highly successful cover of his 1970 tune I Feel For You, while Sinead O'Connor's biggest hit was Prince's Nothing Compares to You. The Art of Noise and Tom Jones reached the UK Top 5 in 1988 with the remake of Kiss, and Alicia Keys covered How Come You Don't Call Me Anymore on her 2001 debut. Prince also worked on specific album tracks for performers like Khan, Madonna, Tevin Campbell, Kate Bush, The Time, Marquita, Patti LaBelle, and Janelle Monáe. He was behind the girl group Vanity 6, led by singer-actress Vanity, and their number 1 dance hit, Nasty Girl. And he sent a song to the all-women's band, The Bangles, that they would record to great effect, reaching number 2 with the lush ode to the stressful workday, Manic Monday. In 1992, Prince and the New Power Generation released Love Symbol album. Though embraced by some critics, sales did not fare well as Diamonds. Love only managed to have one top 10 hit, the transcendent single 7, though My Name is Prince and the Carnal Sexy MF gathered some attention as well. The following year, Prince released the compilation box set The Hits, the B-sides, as well as the newly released Pink Cashmere, a tender number sung in falsetto. The lack of success for Love Symbol album created tension between Prince and his record label Warner Brothers. Over the ensuing years, the singer's career went through a roller coaster of ups and downs. Turned off by feeling controlled by his label, Prince changed his name to the unpronounceable glyph O plus in 1993, a fusion of female and male astrological symbols, which he used until 2000. During that time, he was more frequently referred to as the artist formerly known as Prince, and his new symbol was not embraced by most fans. He also started making appearances with the word slave drawn on the side of his face, meant to convey the great disdain he had for his label. Prince did release the 1995 album, The Gold Experience, during this time of duress and scored another top 5 song with The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Once he was released from all contractual obligations to Warner Brothers, Prince released a triple album, fittingly entitled Emancipation 1996, which went on to become certified platinum and featured the soul remake Betcha by Golly Wow. Several other albums affiliated with his MPG label soon followed, including Crystal Ball 1998, Rave Unto the Joy Fantastic 1999. After several years of relative obscurity, Prince returned to the limelight in 2004 to perform at the Grammy Awards with Beyonce Knowles. The same year, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That spring, he released Musicology, with a tour that became the top concert draw in the United States. The album won 2 Grammys and added another dreamy ballad, Call My Name, to the Prince canon. His next album, 3121, was released in 2006. That year, he wrote and performed Song of the Heart for the animated film Happy Feet and won a Golden Globe Best Original Song for the composition. In 2007, he performed during the Super Bowl halftime show on a massive stage, shaped as his famous symbol amid pouring rain. It unfortunately wasn't purple. The event was watched by 140 million fans. 2010 was the year of accolades for Prince. He not only was lauded by Billboard.com as the greatest Super Bowl performance ever, but he was also featured in Time Magazine's 100 Most Influential People in the World and earned a Lifetime Achievement Award from the BET Awards. He ended the year with an induction into the Grammy Hall of Fame. Prince also continued to deliver the fruits of his studio efforts with Planet Earth 2007, Lotus Flower 2009, and a joint deal with the Daily Mirror 2010. With the advent of the internet as the primary force for distributing music, Prince was against the trend of having songs shared at will on the web. He rallied against the idea of providing his songs to online music platforms without proper upfront compensation and profit sharing, with his tracks eventually only found on the Jay-Z backed streaming service Tidal. One of the few pop artists to have full ownership of his masters, he was diligent via Web Sheriff and erasing examples of his music, including videos and live performances from the internet. He was thus behind the Lens vs. Universal Music Group case, which unsuccessfully pushed the YouTube removal of a baby dancing to Let's Go Crazy. Prince continued to take political stands with his performances as well. On May 2, 2015, Prince staged a dance rally for peace at Paisley Park to pay tribute to Freddie Gray, a 25-year-old African-American who died in police custody after his arrest in Baltimore, and to show support for the activists protesting his death. With his backup band, Third Eye Girl, Prince performed a 41-minute concert including his protest song Baltimore, which was inspired by Gray's death. On April 21, 2016, Prince was found dead at his Paisley Park compound in Minnesota. The week prior, his plane made an emergency landing and the singer was hospitalized for what was purportedly a severe case of the flu, though reports later stated that the musician was given a life-saving safe shot for a Percocet overdose. The Carver County Sheriff's Department at the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office launched an investigation into the cause of death. After the autopsy was performed, his remains were cremated, and his close family and friends gathered for a small, private funeral on April 23rd. Almost 2 weeks after the musician's death, a lawyer revealed that Dr. Howard Cornfield, a California-based physician who specialized in treatment for those dependent upon and addicted to pain medication, had been called upon Prince's team to aid the musician. The performer had undergone hip surgery some years earlier and was believed to have endured recurring discomfort while giving concerts. Cornfield's son had reportedly flown to Prince's compound to initiate the recovery process and was among those who found him dead. While Prince's state of health at the time of his death is unknown, attorney William Mousey said the artist was dealing with a grave medical emergency when Cornfield was called, as reported by the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. On June 2, 2016, the Midwest Medical Examiner's Office released results of its investigation, which determined that Prince died from an accidental overdose of self-administered fentanyl, a synthetic opiate. Tributes to a profoundly unique artist poured in from fans across the globe, as evidenced by impromptu memorials and celebrations of his work. With love especially hailing from the city where Prince was born and continued to live, thousands of mourners sang Purple Rain in downtown Minneapolis on the night of his death. His Minnesota home/studio, Paisley Park, officially opened its doors as a museum in October 2016. The following months, his first posthumous song, Moonbeams, was released, as well as a documentary about the singer's early years entitled Prince, Are You Listening? On April 19, 2018, Carver County concluded its 2-year investigation with the announcements that no criminal charges will be filed in Prince's death. Attorney Mark Metz said that it was unknown who supplied the musician with the fentanyl-laced pills that killed him. And that there was no evidence that any associate knew he was ingesting such a dangerous substance. Things that make you go, There is no doubt that the actions of individuals around Prince will be criticized and judged in the days and weeks to come, Metz said. But suspicions and innuendos are not sufficient in bringing criminal charges. Prince was extremely private about his personal life and preferred to spend time at his Paisley Park compound away from the celebrity spotlight. In the 1980s, Prince had a long, on and off relationship with singer-songwriter Susanna Melvoin, the twin sister of Wendy Melvoin, a guitarist in Prince's band The Revolution. He was also romantically involved with drummer extraordinaire Sheila E. The two worked together on her albums The Glorious Life. On Valentine's Day 1996, Prince married backup singer and dancer Maite Garcia. The couple had a son who was born October 16, 1996, and died a week later from Pfeiffer syndrome, a rare genetic disorder. Prince and Garcia divorced in 1999. In 2001, Prince married his second wife, Manuela Testolini, who had been employed by one of his charitable organizations. Their marriage ended in 2006. After their divorce, he had a relationship with one of his musical proteges, singer Bria Valentine. During the same year as his wedding to Testolini, Prince also became a Jehovah's Witness, embracing the faith after years of study. He was raised as a 7-year Adventist. His mentor as a witness was bassist Larry Graham, who played with Sly and the Family Stone and thus was also a major musical influence. Prince was believed to have taken part in what's referred to as a field service for his faith, having once visited a Jewish couple in Eden Prairie, Minnesota, and leaving behind a copy of the Witness publication, The Watchtower. His language and performance sensibilities changed somewhat, with some fans questioning how some of the conservative aspects of his religion jibed with the explicit nature of past songs. Contradicting the rock and roll and soul persona, others have pointed out that Prince had historically had songs that were clearly Christian in nature, as seen with The Ladder, The Holy River, The Cross, God, and the gospel B-sided single Purple Rain. According to Billboard magazine, Prince spoke to an audience at a music industry event about the memoir, tentatively titled The Beautiful Ones. "This is my first book. My brother Dan," co-writer Dan Piepenbring, He's helping me with it. He's a good critic, and that's what I need. He's not a yes man at all. And he's really helping me. From the beginning, from my first memory, and hopefully we can go all the way up to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, my Prince impression is starting to sound more like Michael Jackson. The following spring, CBS aired Let's Go Crazy, the Grammy salute to Prince, on the 4th anniversary of his death. Hosted by comedian and actress Maya Rudolph, the special featured an all-star lineup of musicians performing the artist's classic hits. Highlights included John Legend delivering a soulful version of Nothing Compares to You, Chris Martin and Susanna Hoffs teaming up for a delicate rendition of Manic Monday, and Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters pumping out their hard rock cover of Darling Nikki. Well, that's about it, guys. One of the best singer, songwriter, musicians of all time, Prince. Wow, this guy was something else, wasn't he? I mean, to this day, nobody has brought the heat quite like Prince. A lot of people say Bruno Mars is pretty close. He is pretty close, he is. But Prince just had that magic about him. You know, he just had that soul that it's too hard to find nowadays. It's just something that came, he had his time and he went. And there's been nobody to fill Prince's shoes. What an amazing singer and what an amazing talent. Also very mysterious, something that artists don't even do nowadays. Everybody puts everything online, shows all your pictures, everything. This guy was so mysterious, he barely even did interviews. That was a very key thing that made him so famous, and it made him a legend. Thank you guys once again for watching Unforgotten Music Legends. And hey, I guess we're going to be moving on to part 5, episode 5. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.